President Trump over the weekend said tariffs are working big time as a deficit reduction strategy. That because of them, the U.S. will be able to start paying down large amounts of the $21 trillion in debt accumulated. Homeland Security collects tariffs at borders on behalf of the Treasury Department. They don't provide estimates of what's come in the middle of the year, but here's some back of the envelope math that we can do for you. First, the tariffs on metal imports and Chinese goods that are already in effect. If you base them off of full year imports, they'd rake in about $17 billion based on last year's import levels. Then you have the new tariffs being considered. That is on an additional $216 billion in Chinese imports, as well as cars and car parts from Canada. All of those taken together would bring in another $66 billion. The U.S. imported about $60 billion in cars and parts from Canada last year, according to the Commerce Department. And as we reported this weekend, the White House is still weighing tariffs on those imports as NAFTA talks continue. A senior administration official tells me that talks with Canada have been difficult since the G7, even as progress is made with Mexico on NAFTA, and that auto tariffs may come into play considering that. In all, the administration's policies may yield roughly $80 billion in annual tariff revenue, give or take. But import volume, of course, could fall. Deals could get struck. A lot could happen. That $80 billion, though, it could make a dent in the deficit, but it would be a small one, guys, considering that the budget deficit stood at $607 billion in June, and you still have half the year.